Well, last night, you mentioned last night that you went out with Stephanie and John, and you went to see Dave Landau, who, if you're not familiar with Dave, you've interviewed him a couple of times here for the for the CMS. He is a stand-up comedian. He is also the co-host of the Anthony Cumia show on the Compound Media.
He is.
And, I get to catch some of the little Compound Media when you tell me there's something really good that, happened.
Right.
During the week or something, and again, I've asked the question. I don't know if you know the answer, but how well is that Compound Media doing?
I assume it's doing fine. I mean, I don't love a whole bunch of the shows. I mean, that's the one thing that I don't think they do especially well is the shows are not very good, most of them. And I've tried them all. I do I obviously love Tax, Anthony Cumia show. And I like a show called In Hot Water, which is pretty funny, with Gino Bisconti and Eric Berg. And the others all kind of have their moments. I check out Nightshade with Michael Malice every now and again to get some political stuff. You would probably like Michael Malice a ton.
Okay.
He's real political. But, I assume it's doing fine. I mean, they got a studio in downtown New York City. That can't be cheap. So, I can't imagine that Anthony's going through everything that he's saved just to run Compound Media.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't imagine, but you shared a clip with me today, Legion of Skanks.
Yeah.
And, there's just too much going on there at once. There's just too many people on the mic.
Yeah, that's the big problem with the Skanks. I love that show, but there's too many guys.
Yeah, it just too much because I try, you told me, and we could cover it later in the show, it's just that little clip. But regardless of that, there's just too much talk over between all of them.
Yeah, there is.
And it's tough to follow. I watched, I think I watched maybe 20 minutes of what you shared with me today. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, whew, I can't, this is too much for my brain to process at one time. Because everybody's just talking, and commenting and talking. And, because there's so many guys in the room, I appreciate the technical end of it that they, have the camera work. But the camera work gets too busy.
Yeah, it does flop back and forth.
It flips back and forth so quickly, and it's on these guys, and it's on the guests, and then it's on both, and then it's back. And it's constantly flipping, and it's just too much.
Yeah, I of course, now that I'm doing video, I pay attention to that, and I was like, it's flipping between full screen of one side of the room, then a split screen of the two with a background, and then back to a full screen with the other side of the room, and then flipping back and forth. I was like, God damn, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's a tough watch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love them guys, and I am subscribed to Luis J. Gomez, the Mexican guy.
Okay,
or I think he's Mexican or Puerto Rican guy. I can't. There's not enough of him. Anything he does, I listen to. He has the Rattlesnake podcast, or the Real Ass podcast is what that one's called. He does an MMA podcast. He does Legion of Skanks. He does what is the other one? Mike, I have it. I'll look it up later. He does it's Rap Battle or Mike Battle or Comic Battle or something like that, where he does battles with other comedians and stuff. He's fucking funny, man. I enjoy that guy to no end. But Legion of Skanks, I all those guys are funny. Big J. Okerson is funny. Dave Smith is funny. Ari Shaffir is funny. But all together, it does get a bit mishmashy. And to be fair, the one that you were listening to was way more polluted than the normal.
Yeah, well, I haven't watched it enough to really know, but I did watch, that one today, and I was just like, after 20 minutes, I was just like, I've had enough. My brain is tired watching this.
Well, the problem, too, was the guest was, like, all over top of them, too. Like, they sort of know, like we do, when to talk and when to shut up.
Right.
But the guest wasn't playing along. And once that happens, then you really get fucked up, because then you don't know when to come in, and two people start coming in at the same time, and, it turns into a thing.
Yeah, it's a bit much. But anyway, you did interview Dave Landau this week.
I did.
And then you went out to see him in person last night.
I did.
And tell us a little bit about that. I mean, this was the second trip back to Akron in 6 months, right?
I guess he's doing every 6 months because he's coming back in October already.
All right. Well, so he's making it a twice-a-year deal.
Yeah, he apparently likes the Funny Stop, and I do too. It's a great room. It's a really good room to see a comedy show in, and the sound is good, and the stage is pretty decent, and and we had a really good time. I got there a little bit early. I got there about 6:45. Immediately started drinking.
And what was the drink of choice?
Last night was pitchers of beer.
All right.
I was just it ended up John was drinking. I don't know what John was drinking. He was drinking Jaeger shots or something. But Stephanie and I drank 4 pitchers of beer in like an hour and a half.
Wow.
We were pouring them down. But we stayed and we watched the first 2 comics, and when Dave came out, he opened with a joke he had told last time, and I was like, oh man, he's not going to do the same set, don't let that be the deal. But it wasn't. The reason he told it was because he had written new material that worked into that.
Gotcha.
And then it went into new stuff, and I would say 99% of the show last night was all new from the 6 months earlier that I had seen him, and fucking hysterical. I mean, really, we were laughing so hard that the room was shaking. He was so fucking funny last night.
Well, that's good.
It was definitely a good time, man. And then we hung out with him a little bit after the show, for a couple of minutes, and I gave him a CMS shirt.
Nice.
Thank you for sending that.
Nice.
And he was very appreciative of that. And and then after that, John and Steph and I went to there was a bar next door that was definitely, I would say if we counted us 3, there was 3 white faces in the room.
What are you trying to say?
Just saying, I just did a count, and there was three white patrons in the room.
And what was the balance of the makeup of the room?
Oh, I would say 200 to 3. I would say that that we were at Club Gary.
Wow. And this is in Cuyahoga Falls of all places.
Yeah. It was definitely a black club. I mean, they were playing all the music was hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
And it was great because it was driving John somewhat nuts. But I like hip hop and Stephanie likes hip hop. So we actually knew a lot of the songs, and we're like kind of like getting into it and just sitting around. It was a low key. I mean, it was not a crazy night by my standard anyway. We just drank a lot.
Right. Well, what was it like the scene in Weird Science where they go into that black club and everybody stops and looks?
Yeah. You know what? It sort of felt that way when we went in. It really did. But look at Sal. Chris, how was the tipping? I'm going to say this, Sal. And I'm being dead serious, not even making a joke, even though this is going to sound like a joke. Our bill, which I picked up the tab for the bar. Boy,
those Google AdWords are paying off.
Well, they are, but it really wasn't that expensive. It was $28.
Wow.
For our bar tab. This was in this room.
Yeah, I get you. It was right after the comedy show, and you just got a nightcap before you headed on home, so you could be in bed by 10.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, the way it worked out was I bought the tickets. John bought the food and drinks at the comedy show, and then I bought the drinks after.
Right.
That's how we worked it out. And so it was $28, and I tipped 10 on top of it. I tipped it to $38, and the girl looked at it like I had tipped her $1,000.
Yeah.
She was like, "Whoa!" And she's like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Nice.
I mean, well, is that a lot? 10 on 30?
Well, it's more. What is that? That's 30%, right?
Well, she kept my cup full. What am I supposed to do? Right?
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I'm not arguing that fact at all.
Yeah, I mean that's I always try to do that. I try to keep it at like so that it all equals out to like 25%.
Yeah,
it's 30. It's 40. I try to do it that way, although I don't do math that much. So
you just throw some money in there.
I really do. As long as I can see the fucking line to sign on it, I don't give a shit.
Right.
It's a write-off anyway.
Sure.
So,
little business entertainment expense.
Well, we did so. We must have mentioned Pinball PA at some point.
Right. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. So anyway, you went and saw Dave Landau, and, how did that go?
It was great. And he was very appreciative of us, me and you, for having him on the show. And, he definitely appreciated the, he said to me that he liked the fact that I actually sort of knew what I was talking about, that it wasn't he gets a lot of those. So you're on tour. How's that going?
Yeah. What's that like?
He actually made the joke about that. That's the interview that he does a lot of the time.
Yeah. So you're on tour. What's that like?
Yeah, exactly. But, we got to talking, and what was funny, and I shared this with you, and I don't know if you want to do this right now.
Yeah, let's do this.
Well, the deal was, and if anybody heard the interview this week, they did a fucked up segment on the Anthony Cumia show on Tuesday. I interviewed Dave on Tuesday, and I interviewed him like an hour after the Cumia show. So basically, they finished the Cumia show. He had time to get home, and then I did the interview with him.
Right.
And the segment was fucked up. And I got to set the backstory before you play the audio.
Okay.
But they were interviewing, they had a comedian named Ian Fidance on the show. And Ian he's a gay comedian, but he's definitely an attacking comedian. He's not soft in any way. And they had this guy, Mason Reese, that I think, what was he, Mikey?
Mikey off the Life cereal commercials.
And he was like on Dick Cavett and a bunch of those kind of shows.
Yeah, there was always this rumor, decades ago that he died from drinking pop and eating those Pop Rocks or something. Do you remember that rumor?
Don't know.
Oh yeah, that was the rumor. I remember that kid from that Life cereal, that Mikey guy, died because he ate Pop Rocks and drank soda or something.
Right.
And it blew up his stomach or something stupid like that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But they had this guy Mason Reese on, and this guy, he's a strange looking fella. I'm just going to say he is definitely a strange looking guy. I honestly didn't know it was a guy, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then there was a porn star named Sarah Russi that was there, sucking on a dildo-shaped lollipop. And then you had Ian at one table. You had those three at the one table. You had Dave and Anthony Cumia at the other table. And they also had a little Pomeranian dog that was on the table, sleeping on the table.
Okay.
All right. So I didn't get to tune in at 4:00 when the show normally starts. I tuned in. I was working, and then I was like, let me see what's going on the show, especially since I was going to be interviewing Dave like an hour later. So I popped it on at about 5:45, like right near the end of the show.
Okay.
And I see this scene that I just set up for you.
All right.
3 fucking whack jobs with a Pomeranian, and the comedian, Ian, is just on straight up attack. He is attacking this porn star.
Okay.
And it was so reminded me of old O&A. Remember when O&A used to just say, especially Opie, would just say just cringeworthy shit right to people's face?
Yeah.
That's what Ian was doing to this porn star.
Okay.
And the porn star is apparently fucking this life guy.
Mikey guy,
Mason Reese.
Yeah.
And at some point, the dog started attacking Ian, the comedian.
Okay.
It was this fucked up scene. And they were sitting there watching it, and I was rolling just watching this little segment. But what I did was I cut some of the segment. It's like 3-4 minutes, so that you can get a feel for what was going on, and then I'll talk about when I talked to him.
All right, so we're going to play the Ian fiance segment?
Yeah, Ian Fidance.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Let's see what's going on here.
I added him on Facebook, and he saw my photos.
Yeah.
Know what kind of a dog he is. You knew he'd be right all over that.
I very lightly flirted with her. I asked her, "Do you live in L.A.?" I just assumed because she was a cam chick that she might be based in L.A., you know? Right. And she goes, "No, I'm in Pittsburgh." I said,
"Is that the Mikey guy talking?"
That's the Mikey guy talking.
Yeah. You could tell he's got fat up around his neck.
And let me give one more little piece about this clip, which is why this guy Ian went on the attack. This girl, they were talking earlier about that Mikey, or Mason Reese, when he was like 16, almost fucked Bonnie Raitt.
Really? The singer?
The singer, like when she was real young. It just, I don't know how, that's a whole nother story. You'd have
all right.
But this chick, this porn chick, got all fucking pissed off that he was talking dirty. She's a fucking porn star.
Yeah, that's her job to talk dirty.
Yeah, but you'll see where it goes, because this guy was like, defending the pussy whipped guy.
All right, here we go.
I'm a Steeler fan, which I don't even know if she understood what that meant, to be honest. She's not really a sports person, right?
I knew what that meant.
Oh, okay. And I said, I've never been to Pittsburgh. Maybe if I come there, you'll show me around.
Oh, wow. That's always a good one.
Do you still
live in Pittsburgh?
CUM. I do, but I spent a lot of time in his apartment.
Yeah.
Does he fly you here?
She doesn't fly.
I don't like to fly.
Do you drive her here?
No, she takes a bus.
Yeah.
Oh.
You took a bus with that fucking thing the whole way?
I shoved it up me for everybody to see.
On the bus?
So she said she took this dog on the bus with her?
No, this giant dildo sucker.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I got it now.
She's saying that she stuffed it up her pussy on the bus.
Okay. All right, I gotcha. Yeah, well, of course, I don't have the visual, so I'm trying to piece what's going on together here. So she took a bus with this dildo sucker.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. Mm-hmm. Is that how you got the free ride?
Yeah. I got a lot of free rides.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Well, who is that?
That's Ian Fidance, who's about to just strike.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Like a pig.
Yeah.
True manners.
Yeah. That's funny. He talks like a pig and you act like a pig.
Oh my!
What's the balance here? Actions speak louder than words.
Show some respect, Ian Fidance.
Well, I'm just being honest. Call me outcast. I'm just being honest.
You are.
You'd hit it.
She's a good girl.
You'd hit it.
Yes, she's awesome.
I hit it? Not with that dog's dick.
It's great. I like how the green in it is keying out in the background.
Oh, is that so funny?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
See, like the buildings through it.
It's got no balls.
Oh,
like it's transitioning.
Can I put my fingers behind it?
It's transitioning. It's got no balls.
I just like what he said. I wouldn't fuck you with that dog's dick.
Yeah, I see that. All right.
It's invisible.
It's a transition pop.
You can't see it.
Oh my God.
That's very funny.
Wow, that is...
Wow, yeah, suck that building's dick.
Keying out like Mason's self-esteem.
Suck that building.
Just disappears.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm as liberal as it gets, man. And sometimes she says shit. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God. What'd she say? What'd she say?
What'd she say now?
Oh.
Sucking the dick for the drive.
Right.
Oh, yeah. God forbid you talk about your past.
Yeah.
Well,
The sordid past of the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, even I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. That must have been
So
a
wait,
great time,
did
though.
people see you shove that up your pussy on the bus?
Yeah.
No.
I just showed it to the driver, and I was like, "Hey, what?
Show us. I can't.
Oh,
picture
my
it. I don't
goodness.
know. I just don't know in my head.
You gotta pay me for that."
Bullshit.
It's fine. The bus was in India, and so many people were getting stuff shoved up their pussies.
I don't know what this girl looks like. I'm assuming since she's a porn star, she's probably attractive.
She's hot. Yeah.
But I could not listen to that more than 10 minutes.
No, I hated her immediately.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, just sit there. I'll just look at you, but just keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, I hated her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Limited.
That's. I'm sure that didn't happen.
Did you charge people to watch?
Yeah,
That didn't happen. You're so full of it.
He's making
You're
light of that.
lying.
She doesn't look like a girl that would do that. There's a
I'm gonna call her Simba because she's lying.
I flash people in public.
That she does do.
I hump him in public, and like I make eye contact with like people.
Like Bonnie Raitt?
Yeah, she pretends like she's like got a.
Are you the one taking the pictures? Because I see some pictures where it's like, oh, you're just walking on the street and your ass is hanging out or something.
Oh,
I
did you
take a
ride
few
him
and
on
she
his
takes a
scooter?
few.
Yeah, I like
okay.
prop it up, but he's a really bad cameraman right now.
Wait, put up one of her. Put up one of the videos.
I'm learning how to get better at
Oh
it.
my
Let's
God.
see a video.
Don't worry, it'll be a good plug for your site. Where can people go to see you?
Onlyfans.com/Sarah
Greyhound coming
Rusi.
from Pittsburgh.
I just made my what?
Megabus.
I didn't even hear what he said.
So only
What authority?
That's
fans.
so Ian should have appeared.
Onlyfans.com/Sarah Rusi. I just did an anal video, like my
my
first
goodness.
anal fucking video, like with the toy, like solo.
Yeah.
Oh my
It wasn't
goodness,
Mason's
Mason,
dick,
watch your mouth.
but
Wow. Did
and
God help me.
that's my social media, Sarah_Rusi on
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, Sarah
Yes.
do
Rusi.
you do you really put forth like how it was the first time you did it on the video?
Yes.
Is there a lot of like ow?
No, there's no ow, but I wrote on there that. Yeah, it was a dildo, and I told him it was the first time, like, me doing anal fucking. But
Oh wow! So do you preface the video of like when your father left?
Oh my God!
that's so funny.
Wow. Like Anthony, though. Did you preface it with ow?
Oh, it's so good.
All right, we got about 50 seconds of this.
That's not even
Order.
funny, 'cause that's not even true.
Order in this studio. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, doggy.
Oh, I woke the dog. Can we see the video? Or do you post these on Instagram
Oh, you
and then
gotta
say,
pay
"Look at
for
my
it."
page"?
You got to pay for
No,
it.
I don't
OnlyFans.com.
do that.
to
My
buy- you have to
Instagram's
buy
safe.
that.
Sarah Rusi.
Oh, is it private?
So it's the
What
first.
do you think?
gotta
She does this
buy
for
it.
everybody on a fucking bus or something?
Is there anything you won't do for money?
Some garbage.
Yeah, I won't bang you for money.
Yeah, well, I ain't trying, baby.
Nailed.
I want to see what the girls you bang look like.
Uh-oh.
Probably like the ones after him.
But they look like dudes.
Yeah, we just saw one of her on TV.
We just saw one on
Dr. Phil.
Making good time.
What the fuck is this?
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's what you.
Oh wow, mate.
The dog attack.
Maybe the dog doesn't like
Yeah,
assholes, Ian.
Yeah, that,
Wow, sounds like a dumpster fire going on there.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I watched it and could not stop laughing. You got to see the visual. I'll tell you what episode it is.
All right, I'll definitely watch that. So then after that happened, you interviewed Dave Landau an hour after the show.
Yeah, 1 hour after the show, and immediately, the first thing I talked to him about was what I had just watched.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Well, Dave, I was watching the show today, and I'll just tell you, I came in late. I was busy, pretending like I was responsible, and I turned on the TV at about, I don't know, maybe like 5:45, and I look, and there's a chick, there's a sort of guy that looks like a chick, there's Ian Fidance. And there's you and Anthony looking like you just wanted to crawl under the desk and run.
Yeah. I more wanted to just stay and see how far that could go. Yeah, we had Mason Reese on, who I guess child star was on like the Dick Cavett show.
All right.
Apparently he didn't grow.
He has an odd look. I didn't realize it was a guy until the very end when it showed the Twitter thing or whatever, and I looked him up. I was like, who is this?
Yeah, he kind of looks like if there was a fire at a wax museum and that's what was left of John Goodman.
Very nice. it was very, very cringy. It was old school O&A, only it was you and Anthony. And my God, I couldn't believe Anthony was so horrified because, you know, he used to be the instigator of that kind of abuse that Ian was throwing on, what was the girl's name? Sarah Russi?
Yeah, Sarah Russi, the porn actress. And, Anthony usually goes at it. He's just so non-confrontational now, but I think that's kind of how he stirs it a little bit, right. Is by, letting it happen. And it was honestly a really good interview. Everything was going well. We were all talking and having fun, but then she started attacking Mason. And then saying stuff about how, like, well, he's not a billionaire, I'm not going to sleep with, like, just really kind of belittling him. And Ian just summoned, his nerd rage and just ripped her apart. Like, it was just, it was just absolutely magical, to be honest. I could not stop laughing because he just dissected everything. And then, she came back with the typical, like, I bet every girl you fuck is ugly and this and that. And then he just made great comments. Like she said, I just did my first anal video. And he's like, is that with your dad? And everything that he was saying, I just was dying laughing because I was half saying it under my breath. And then he was just saying it as loudly as possible. But yeah, that relationship is no good. I see murder-suicide in the future.
Yeah, I would say.
That was a good one.
That was good. So fast forward to the next day. That was Tuesday. So fast forward on Wednesday, and they start talking about it again, and Dave referenced the interview with me on the Cumia show.
Nice.
And I sent you that clip, too.
All right, let's hear this.
Gotta let that happen? Like, you want me to let this out into the wild?
Too many fucking rules now for these parents. And they can't raise kids, so they put these maniacs out there.
Too many cameras.
Yeah, a lot of cameras.
You sort of spray painted that shit?
Yeah, thank God we don't have any here.
Well, fortunately, all the terrible things I do are recorded daily from 4 to 6.
I think Ian wanted to punch someone yesterday.
There may have been some bloodbath.
That was hilarious.
I don't just mean her first anal video.
Oh, my God, was that fucking funny yesterday.
Dude, I had to do a interview right after.
Oh,
and yeah, because somebody had listened to it, and I was doing promo for the club I'm at this week,
okay.
And they're just like, how was that? I'm like, I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
It's so goddamn funny.
I know it was rude, but in a great way, and I love Ian. God damn, was that funny.
Ian was hilariously funny. Mason was cool, and, Sarah's Sarah, so she's been on the show. Well, I think she's very pretty, so she probably was never been talked to like that.
So there you have it.
Yeah, you got a little mention there.
Yeah, got a slight mention there on the Cumia show. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, now if Dave will wear the CMS shirt on the show, we'll have it made. We made the big time.
Yeah, we will have arrived.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man, and him and I have been tweeting back and forth, and working on some stuff.
All right, sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Definitely was a good time last night, and a whole week of Landau type humor type stuff.
Sure. All right, very cool. Well, It sounds like you had an eventful evening, and then tomorrow you got something going on too, right?
I do. I'm going to go see Sammy Hagar tomorrow night. Sammy Hagar and the Circles.
Nice.
Sammy, Michael Anthony, and Jason Bonham, and Dick Johnson.
Very cool. And then, a lot of people didn't realize that we weren't live last week.
Well, yeah. But then now they're all, see, I knew it was a pre-record.
Well, you did not. Everyone who normally sticks through the show, I was in the chat room from the beginning to the end, and not one person in there go, is this live? Is this a pre-record?
Of course not.
Nobody knew.
No.
I had my suspicions.
I had a wrestling pay-per-view to watch, goddammit.
Yeah. So you had a little, did you have a little gathering at your place?
It was just me, John, Stephanie, and AJ.
Okay.
And we again, we drank 2 cases of beer and half a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Well, look at you. Boy, you being the socialite again now that the weather is kind of breaking finally. And
well, more to the point, now that I can fucking walk again.
Yeah, how is that foot? We haven't heard about the foot in a few weeks. You must be doing okay.
It's fine. I mean, it's still stiff it's stiff like in the mornings a little bit, but ain't like it was. It doesn't hurt anymore. So
it's stiff in the mornings.
Yeah. I get footwood.
Very good. All right. Well, I say it's time for a little bit of a break. Our good friend Brian McCauley, our newest fan, our blind fan who hit us up a few weeks ago, he wants to call in and be a part of the show this week, and we'll talk to him. All right. And see what's going on. He's got some stories to share and whatnot, and we'll see what's going on with him. So, do you have something you'd like to hear?
How about First Union album? Play the song "Around Again."
Around Again.
Yeah.
All right.
On Union's self-titled debut.
Yeah, I remember going to that show there at Ron's Crossroads.
Sure. Yeah, that was a fun time.
Yeah. I barely knew you at that point.
Yeah, we were just starting to know each other. But yeah, I was listening to the Cobras and Fire podcast yesterday, and they were interviewing Karabi, and there's talk of a Union reunion.
A Union reunion?
Yeah. So I liked hearing that. So it made me pop in this the Union CD. I actually listened to the other one. I didn't listen to this one. I listened to the Do Your Own Thing or whatever that one's called, the Blue Room or something.
Yeah, the Blue Room, I think.
Yeah, but I'm in the mood for Around Again. It's such a fucking cool song.
All right. Well, we're going to play a couple of tunes, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to Brian McCauley and see what's up in his world. So here it is. This is John Karabi along with Bruce Kulick with the Union Project, and it's Around Again exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Hey, this is John Karabi. You're listening to my good friend Neely on the Classic Metal Show.